Here we have him in the Bible, and he's in the book of Tobit. Every time the heroine Sarah married, he killed her husband on their wedding night. This happened 7 times. The hero of the book wanted to marry Sarah, but was afraid that he too would die. The angel Raphael told him that all he had to do was place the liver of a fish, Piscean age, that he had caught onto burning coals, and the angel would take care of the rest. That night, as he and Sarah entered their wedding chamber, Tobias placed the fish's liver onto the coals. Instantly, Raphael swept in, scooped up Asmodeus, flew him to the Egyptian desert, and tied him up. This, we are led to assume, was the last you had ever heard of him, but it wasn't. Interesting. In one of the books of Apocrypha, the collection of mainly Hebrew books that form part of the Catholic Bible but are regarded as non-biblical by Protestants and Jews, he appears in Tobit with no introduction, suggesting that the original readers of the work already know of him. His name, Ashmedai, is believed by some scholars to be connected with that of the Persian demon Aeshma. If that is correct, then he is likely to have been a character in local folklore sufficiently well known that no explanation is necessary when he crops up in Tobit. So we hear of him a second time in the Testament of Solomon, a fanciful, mystical 2nd century CE retelling of the stories of in the Bible about King Solomon. The author relied on the book of Tobit for his portrayal of him. Once again, the demon was captured by the angel Raphael after a fish's liver had been burnt. But this time it was King Solomon who burnt the liver, not Tobit. You mean like burning the main facilities that have nukes? Would that be the body of Iran? Okay, and this time, not Tobit. The demon was just one of several demons who Solomon captured in the Testament using a sacred ring that the angel Michael had procured for him from heaven. And it tells us that Tobit did about the demon. We learn that he was a son of an angel and a human mother. This tells us, by the way, that angels must be men. He knows the future, and he tells Solomon that his kingdom will be divided. I am the renowned, he brags. I cause the wickedness of men to spread throughout the world. I am always hatching plots against newlyweds. I mar the beauty of virgins, and I cause their hearts to grow cold. Is that all you do? Asked Solomon. All the liberal women. Asked Solomon somewhat ingeniously. No, continues the demon. I spread madness about women through the stars, and I have committed a host of murders. Again, Solomon asked him if there was anything else about him he should know. Who could never have read Brer Rabbit. What? Said that there was just one more thing. Please, he begged, do not expose me to water. Ah! I remember that. Do not expose me to the water. Quick as a flash, Solomon placed him in a clay pit, surrounded him with jars of water, and ordered him to mold clay for use in building the temple. There are many legends about the demon, some more absurd than others. In most of them, he is the king of demons. Many of the legends involve Solomon, and it is a connection between the king demon and King Solomon that interests the Talmud. And so the Talmud story begins when Solomon was building the temple. He needed to cut the rocks that would form the temple wall, but he could not use metal tools, as metal can be implement of violence. Nukes. Solomon was told that the only way to hew the massive stones was to get a hold of the Shamir worm, a mystical, magical creation capable of cutting even the hardest of objects. Sounds like a heart, stone heart. He asked the rabbis how he could get hold of this worm. Chronology is not the strong point of this story. The first rabbis lived about 1,000 years after Solomon. The rabbis told him to torment a male and female demon in the hope that they would give him the information he needs. Whoa! Solomon does so, but all the demons can advise is that he goes to ask their king, which is the preview name before the demon, got his real name. They tell him that he lives halfway up a mountain on the edge of a pit of water that he has dug and covered with a magical seal. Every day they say he flies up to heaven to study Torah. Solomon should take advantage of his absence and devise a trap for him. Solomon sent his trusted aide Benahayu I can't remember his name, to capture the demon. He dug a pit at the bottom of the mountain to drain all the water out of the well. Sounds like Washington, D.C. They're going to drain it. They're going to drain it before July 4th, the swamp. Then he dug another pit above the well and filled it with wine. He climbed into a tree and waited. The wine from the upper pit flowed down into the demon's well. When the demon returned home, he removed his seal from the pit and drank the wine. That sounds familiar. As soon as he was suitably drunk, he leapt down from the tree and threw a chain inscribed with the sacred divine name around the unfortunate demon. Such a chain can never be broken. Oh, I must have missed his name. The story rambles on until Benayahu and reached Jerusalem. The demon king told Solomon how to get hold of the shamir worm, and the human king got on with building the temple. He kept the demon close to hand, still wrapped in the sacred chain. Being a wise and inquisitive king, one day he asked Asmodeus, "What demons can do that humans can't? Take your ring off and finger and unchain me," he said, "and I will show you." That's where they say, "I can show you the world," and Jesus says no. Interesting. Exhibiting the sort of naivety that is only found in ancient legends, Solomon unchained him and gave him this sacred ring. And he swallowed the ring and grew so large that one of his wings reached heaven while the other touched earth. He picked up Solomon and threw him 400 parasangs, about 1,500 miles. With Solomon, that's interesting. With Solomon gone, he impersonated him and took over the kingdom. Solomon, meanwhile, wandered the world, lost and homeless. That could be when someone lost their election and someone else took it over. Solomon, meanwhile, wandered the world, lost and homeless. One day he turned up at the door of the Sanhedrin, the Supreme Court in Jerusalem. Again, there is no sense of chronology. He told them that he was a king, and of course they didn't believe him, but he persisted, and eventually the rabbis decided to investigate further. Investigating into election fraud, I see. They discovered that not only had the person they thought was King Solomon ostracized his trusted aide, Benayahu, he was also behaving inappropriately with the women in the harem. "Does he wear socks when he sleeps with you?" "Yes," replied the women. That was a moment the rabbis knew that something was wrong. For demons do not have human feet. They have the feet of chickens, hence the socks. So the rabbis wrought a new chain, carved a secret divine name on it, and gave it to Solomon, together with another sacred ring. When Asmodeus saw Solomon coming, armed with the chain and the ring, he fled. Solomon regained his throne and kingdom, and everybody lived happily ever after. What is the point of this story? It doesn't seem to be connected to the legal theme that the Talmud is discussing, which is legal competence of people suffering from an illness-induced temporary insanity. COVID and insanity, I'm telling you. Rather, it appears to be a long-winded commentary of an aspect of the biblical story, King Solomon, that is often overlooked. Solomon in the Bible and later tradition was extremely wise. So what they did is they cut out all the verses of King Solomon fighting against the demon so that you wouldn't know the demon existed. They did that. Oh my goodness. So you really need to read this. I will post the link under the video. Bye, friends.